Hi, I'm Tom. This is Lucy, and this is Kitty Help Desk. So today I just wanted to talk to you for a moment about how behavior changes are often very gradual. It can be really daunting if you have a cat that has a behavior problem, something that maybe it's an unwanted behavior that you just really wish they wouldn't do as often, or whatever it may be. It can be difficult to really have the patience that's needed in order to give the cat time to adapt. It absolutely is human nature to look for shortcuts. We do this all the time. It is part of what makes humans so successful, is that we really seek out different paths to our goal and try to make things easier. Unfortunately, with behavior, this isn't likely to pay off. This impulse to look for the easy way out, it's just not going to benefit you in the long term. When a cat has a behavior issue and we're asking them to adapt, we're asking them to learn, we're asking them to change. These are not things that come easily to most species, and certainly not to cats. They adapt very slowly at times. Now, if these are adaptations that are built in instinctually, then that may be a little more quick to occur, but in most cases, we're not really asking them to do something that they would naturally do out in the wild. We're asking them to do something that we would like them to do. And so when we're asking for that, we have to realize that we're putting a burden on the cat, and the cat needs time. They absolutely need time in order to really understand what's happening and to start adapting to it. Their adaptation isn't based on what you're directing them to do, in the way that sometimes dog training may work, where you're actually presenting cues and asking them to do particular things. Now, I do clicker training with cats sometimes, and that does involve giving them a cue and asking them to do something. But even that can take time for a cat to adapt and understand. So you want to give them that time to reach that conclusion for themselves, to make them feel like this is a behavior I'm choosing to do because there's a benefit for me at the end of the road. I always, in terms of unwanted behaviors, I always advise clients that what you need to do is you need to remove the reinforcement, both deliberate and inadvertent reinforcement of the unwanted behavior. You have to remove that first, and then you need to provide the cat with an alternative choice. This is not, you must do this. This is, hey, look, this turned out to have a better outcome for you. Maybe you might want to consider this as a choice. That's a slower process than do this, right? But it's also a process that helps the cat to maintain autonomy, to maintain a feeling of agency in that process. And that's why it's successful, and that's why it doesn't require policing after the fact. Once a cat has made up their own mind to change their behavior, then they're very likely to stick with it long term. But we still, as human beings, we still look for the easy button. Remember that there was a commercial many years ago about the easy button, and one of these office supply stores, just calling them up, you could get anything you wanted very easily, and they called that the easy button. There is no easy button here. And many people will start to be tempted by behavioral medications, thinking that those are the easy way out, that those are the path to success. And I just want to warn you about that. You don't really want to default to giving a cat a behavioral medication. Many veterinarians will advise, if you bring a behavior issue to them, that will advise, medications like gabapentin, amitriptyline, fluoxetine, anti-anxiety medications as ways to sort of treat some of these problems that your cat might have. The issue is that giving a cat a behavioral medication like that is very much like putting air into a tire that has a nail in it. You're not patching the tire, you're not pulling the nail out, you're not repairing anything. You're just covering it up and making it seem like things are better, but things aren't actually better. Underneath the surface, the problem is actually growing worse because the core reasons for the problem to exist in the first place still exist. And as long as those stimuli that created the problem in the first place are still in place, the problem is still there. It may seem like it's better, but it's not really. And so in the long term, the best case scenario is if you want to use a behavioral medication or if a veterinarian prescribes it, it's best if you can administer it very briefly, just to help a cat get over the hump of adaptation. And, in some cases when there's a tremendous amount of anxiety, that can be useful. But you have to be very discreet about when and where you use these medications and not just think of them as a blanket way to get to the finish line faster. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.